Hello guys, welcome back. SimUK here, and this is Glider Simulator, World of Aircraft Glider Simulator once again. If you watched the last video, or if you haven't seen the last video, I highly recommend you go and check it out. This game already is proving to be very realistic in terms of its handling and flight model. Not the flight model so much, I haven't really experienced that to any great degree, but certainly the weight of the aircraft as you sort of bank into corners and stuff, into turns I should say, definitely feels realistic. So I'm very keen to see what real glider pilots think about this. For me, I'd say it was pretty close to the real thing, but having never flown a glider, I'm basing that on what I've seen in videos and what I've done quite a bit of research with gliders, and I used to have a friend who used to fly gliders, but you can never recreate flying a glider without flying a glider. So I'm always going to be at a disadvantage there. So yeah, if you're a glider and you've got this game, please do come back and let me know if you think it's authentic or not. For me, I think it's really good. The audio is very nice. There might be a few gaps in it, but I think all the important stuff is there. And they really sort of focus on the audio as well, which is nice. In the last video, we really highlighted how this is going to take people who have never flown at all and get them up and flying. The way that the training system works is brilliant. It introduces more complexity with each lesson. It's brilliant. I think it's an excellent way of doing it. But we're going to try, what are we doing? Standard pattern, stage, I think 3 we were on. Was it 3 or 4? Must have been 3. Use stick and throttle to navigate through standard pattern, pedals are auto. This crashed on me last time, so my fingers are crossed. Hopefully it won't crash this time. We shall see. And yeah, so I've done a bit of research, just a small amount of research. And now I can't pronounce it, but I'll try. Herentik Airport in Germany. That's where we're based, and all of the gliding is based there. I guess what they're trying to push for, what they're intending, is that we're going to have like online multiplayer sessions of people gliding. Here we go, 4 seconds. All right. I've got to try and remember what the game taught me in the previous lesson. So I'm going to get up to 110 knots. Use stick to fly through all the hoops. Well, yes, obviously. Here we go, 107, 106, 105. So we're about the right speed now. This is good. Now, if you've watched the last video, you know that I already successfully steered my way through here, but now it's all about combining the pattern. Trying to get my speed up again. Trying to get the pattern and the landing together in one piece. A bit of work to be done. You can see those orange arrows pointing left and pointing right. If you're new to flight sims, then all you're being asked to do there is sort of add some input. Now, it's not like an arcade game. It's not like hard left, hard right. Very, very small, very gentle movements. If I bring the camera down just a smidge here, you can see that the level of input that I'm putting on the stick is very gentle. Just trying to adjust myself here because I've got a bit out of shape there as I was trying to move the camera. So we're supposed to be doing 90. I'm a little bit slow, so I'm going to bring myself lower. And effectively in a glider, that is how you speed up. To go faster, you pitch down, which means put the nose towards the floor. Not completely, obviously. But I'm trying to match the green square of 86 with the blue square of 85. And eventually what will happen is that you'll stop looking at that. I think this is brilliant, the way they've done this tutorial. Eventually you'll stop looking at the square and you'll start looking at the speedo that's behind it. So I think that's really nice. I think it works exceptionally well. Very clever. Very, very, very good. I think people new to flight sims are really going to benefit from getting access to this game. A little bit squiffy here. Trying to get in the middle. There we go. Ish. A little bit slow. Try and get the nose down a bit. Bit of confidence. Once again, I forgot to set my head tracking up, so I won't be able to test that in this particular video. But I'll be sure to connect it and test that out in the next video. I think the audio is really nice. A little bit slow coming through. Got a good pace now. Good pace, good angle. This is nice. Very relaxing. So I just had a little look through the Steam page, and one of the things that they've done, which I haven't seen yet, is that the thermals are represented by birds. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's implemented. Could be quite clever, quite cool. Obviously, the birds use thermals as much as anybody else. Probably more so. I'm a little bit distracted. I'm trying to land a glider here, sorry. Talking some twaddle. It feels like we're really low, but actually we're right on the money here. So I remember in the last tutorial that when we get to the trees, that's when we're going to start putting some spoilers and some attachments on. Spoilers and flaps. Flaps down. Oh, took my eyes off. There we go. I found the flaps eventually. Bit of a wonky finish, but we're okay. Slightly heavy, probably about 4 Gs, maybe even 5. 8 G. Okay, that was a... Well, at least you landed in one piece, yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't feel like I should be pulling up, even though the game was telling me I should be pulling up. And although it says steer with the rudder pedals, I find that the ailerons are actually more effective at steering. Well, it said mission success. We got down in one piece. Probably have to check the aircraft over and make sure it's still in one piece. Right, use the stick, throttle and pedals to navigate through the standard pattern. No AI assistance. Here we go. This is the big one. Get that mouse out of the way. Here we go. Got myself up to speed. I find my flaps nice and early. I'm trying to ignore as much as I can the advice given by the computer. I think maybe at training level 5, or maybe there needs to be one more training level where you don't get any advice. Maybe this is good for the first time of landing, but after that you kind of want to do it on your own without any reminders or guidance, because I'll be honest with you, what the computer is telling me to do and what I feel like I need to do aren't necessarily the same thing. So I would like one opportunity at least just to put the glider down on the ground myself with no advice or recommendation from anything or anybody. So I might recommend that to the devs if they've got a line of communication as a bit of useful feedback, hopefully. If nothing else, then it's one more level of training, isn't it? Which would be nice. Oh, that was a bit squiffy. Have to tidy that up now. I keep forgetting I've got rudder pedals. Oh, here we go. So there's one example there because the because the AI has been controlling my rudder pedals for the last 2 or 3 tutorials. It's been flying. It's been taking the corners very neatly. Now it feels extra heavy because it's not being done. So I mean there's a good lesson there. Don't rely on the AI completely, because there is stuff that you're meant to be doing. Right, so as I come around on the trees, we're going to basically go full spoilers and then bring the flaps on halfway. And that seems to be a tried and tested method. Seems like a good idea to me. The AI is desperate for me to put more aileron in, but I feel quite comfortable with that. We are going a little bit slow though. Actually wants me to go higher, which is interesting. Not sure I can go higher. Right, here we go then. Final turn. It's all down to me. Just checking I've got my flaps and my spoilers where they need to be. I'm going to try and ignore the AI input advice because it distracts me, makes me take my eyes off what I'm doing, which is never a good idea. A little bit slow. Put the nose down just a smidge. Bit of left rudder. It's tidier. That's much tidier. Whiffy's just walked in the room, distracted me slightly, so if I crash it's all her fault. Spoilers down to 100%. Flaps down halfway. That's a perfect landing coming up right now. I want 2 Gs or better. I'm not paying attention to what the computer is telling me. I'm going to do my own thing. Damn it. I think maybe I caught the tail there. It felt like I caught the tail somewhat. I'm just balancing the tail out, or balancing the wings out. Not bad. I didn't actually see how many Gs I landed with there, so maybe you could tell me in the comments. That would be great. But I mean, down safely, every single one of them. That is a brilliant way to introduce people to flying, I think. Should we have one go at free flight? Can I have one go at free flight? I can. I have done all of these, haven't I? I mean, I haven't taken this out yet. We'll put that in another video, but let's just see. Tow glider, the fly wilger. They look the same to me. So the idea is, by the way, oh, what's this? Oh, okay. So you can add cumulus clouds, wind direction, wind speed. That's interesting. I'm not going to mess with that right now. There are quite a few. Oh yeah, excuse me, there are quite a few gliders that they're planning on bringing. I don't think I've got access to all of them at the moment. But towed takeoff, get pulled into the air by tow aircraft. That's what we want. All right, sweet. I'm excited. Notice that in the tutorial there was no mention of thermals. Find that a little interesting. I'm just going to see if I can take off, excuse me, take off, fly around for a minute or two and then land. So it's going to be a short video. Oh, it's the first time without the rings to aim for. Exciting. Oh yeah, do you see the birds? Okay, that's a little bit weird. Have you seen the film The Birds? Feels a little bit like that at the moment. A little bit high. This is cool. I'm liking this a lot. There's some dodgy textures there, and I just noticed then that with my hat switch, I can only go up and down. I can't go down, and I can't do diagonal turning. I can only do left, right, up, down, which is a bit of a shame. So let's get in the correct position. Now I've got the option to release the tow, but I'm just curious, what will the aircraft do if I just wait for him? So I'm not gonna hit that button on purpose. I'm just curious what will happen. Will it auto detach at a certain altitude? But you can see there's quite a lot of birds. Feel like maybe they're a bit too big, and there's a few too many. Do you know what I mean? They look like gliders. That's what they look like. They look huge. But yeah, I mean it's a natural way of indicating where the thermals are, and I like that. I appreciate that. So we're at coming up to, I'm trying to figure out what we're coming up to. What are we coming up to? We don't appear to be climbing at all. We're about 500 feet, I think. So is he just going to keep towing me forever? Is that how this is going to work? See if we can find ourselves a thermal. So I think there's one over there. So let's let him go. I love that. That is so awesome. There he is. There's our lifeline. Gone for good. So I can see where the airport is. It's over there by the blue bridge. Theoretically we'll be coming in at a different altitude. Right, so we should get some thermal lift at some point. I'm not a skilled glider by any means, but that is how thermals are supposed to work. So it looks like over the town we've got an enormous thermal. The water looks nice as well. The river looks pretty authentic. So look, I'm right on the tail of this bird and this bird. Don't appear to be getting any lift. Oh, there's a bit of rickety going on there. Are we getting some lift? I can't really Can't really gauge whether we are or not. We definitely had some buffeting, so something was going on there. Bit of turbulence or whatnot. What's the maximum altitude we can get to? That's an important question. According to the birds, we're in a thermal here. Speed is very slow, and I'm not seeing any altitude gain. There's a small bit of altitude gain there. I guess it is working. Definitely picking up some speed. Maybe I need to pull the nose up a bit. Straighten out a bit. I'm probably turning way too hard. Because I don't know how big this thermal is. I'm right on this bird's tail. Look at this. Yeah, we're definitely getting some thermal lift there. Not much. 50 feet, maybe 100. Alright, let's see if we can return to the airport and get a good landing. Well, let's see if we can get a landing first. We'll work on good landings in another video. Oh yeah, some buffeting going on there. Some serious altitude gain. Now, normally there's like a... what did I bind it to? There's like an audible... Doesn't look like any of the cockpit is clickable. But normally there's an audible thermal system. I don't know what to call it. I can't remember what the proper name is. I apologise. You know what I'm talking about though. The horizontal indicator or something like that. But we're actually going pretty slow here. Let's just get the nose down a smidge. Get some speed up. We're definitely getting buffeted and pushed about by the... either by the thermal or by just some bad wind. Dirty wind, I'm not sure. Technically that could be the same thing. Let's see where the airport is. I think it's over there. I think that's the bridge we're looking for. I didn't see another bridge that looks kind of the same, so let's try and get on point. Definitely gonna have to drop the nose a bit. I'm not using trim at all, which is probably not helping me. There we go, there's a bit of trim. I should get our speed up to about 85. I'm going to just fly through the birds here, get a bit more altitude. just so we got some to play with for the landing. What I should have done is sort of look for some markers on the ground as to when I turn in, when to start descending, when to turn in, when to turn for the down leg. There's other things that I haven't explored in the game yet as well. Radio communications. Definitely getting some... Look at that. Hands off the stick there for a second. Definitely getting some decent thermals there. Look at this. Woohoo! Right, so I'm pretty confident I can see where it is. That's the other thing as well. I'm not sure if it was this video or the last video where I was saying it would be nice to have another tutorial video without all the rings and out all the guidance. Because when I was coming into land, I was focusing on the rings and I wasn't paying attention to the city or any of the landmarks on the ground. And I should have been, because had I have done, I would know exactly when to turn in now. I think we're quite far out as well. Alright, we're going to go for it. Is there a landing gear indicator? Or is the gear down already? I'm not sure if you can raise and lower. I'm sure on some gliders you have the option to raise and lower the wheel. So that's the runway there. I can see the runway. Okay. So we're going to come in. I think we might be a bit too high, but I'll make it work. We're also going really slow, so I've got loads of altitude to play with. Sort of came in at about... Started off at about 100, came down to about 95, landed at about 85. So we're at landing speed at the moment. I'm just going to trim down just a little bit. And keep that speed right where I want it. That's nice. I mean, this isn't Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 terrain, is it? But I think it looks perfectly adequate. I think it looks really nice. And until Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out, this would have been right up there with the best. The best of the best. So I'm quite happy with it as is. Yeah, this is... I think we're too high. I'm going to build up so much speed here. I'm not sure if I can scrape it off. Look at that, 120. Alright, so maybe we do one more rotation. No. See, I can scrub off 120 in an instant. I think we might be a bit too low. It's going to have to be a short one. Definitely making life difficult for myself. This is why simulators are such a good idea, because it gives you an opportunity to practice and learn and make mistakes without anyone getting hurt. It's confidence. It's having confidence in the glider, isn't it? Having confidence in the glide. I think we're going to have a crash landing here. That confidence in the glide, I don't have it right now. We're so low. So low and so slow. Not a good combination for a glider. I could maybe nick a bit of thermal. There's some birdies over here. We could nick a bit of thermal and come in again. I only need like 100 or 200 feet. Oh, perilously close to the ground now. Come on. We need these thermals big time. I think a flyover at this altitude has just lost me my license for at least a year. Not getting any decent thermals right now. We got a bit. We got a little bit coming up. Teeny tiny smidgerunio. Temporarily lost sight of the runway as well, which is bad. Come on, save it. Save it. We are so slow. I'm just going to drop out the sky here. Desperate for thermals. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a crash landing. We're not getting any thermals at all off the ground. There we go. Damn it. Okay, we're going to have to practice our thermals a little bit more. So this is a nice little touch. Aviation accident report. Nice. Fill in complete form. Keep private copy and deliver to chairman. This is nice. Date, Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. That's accurate. 1324. I think that's accurate. Is it 1324? Where the hell's my phone gone? It is 1324. So it's actually technically very realistic. SimUK was the pilot in command. Passenger amount, I think that says 1. Injuries and deaths, not applicable. So that was lucky. We must have just sat on top of the trees and then had the fire brigade come and get us down. Aircraft registration, aircraft type, VFR, weather conditions, VMC, visibility 20 kilometers, no precipitation, wind 0 meters per second at 0 degrees. Nice. On-ground collision. That was, yeah, on-ground collision. Interesting. Okay. Pilot crashed into an obstacle. Date, place, and signature. That's brilliant. I love that. Well, I'm glad I crashed because it allowed us to get to see the aviation accident report. I wish I hadn't crashed at the same time, but for our first flight, that's okay. You know, some of the mistakes I made there were good mistakes to make, good mistakes to learn in a simulator. So I think this game's great, but it's not my opinion that matters. It's yours. I just tell you how it feels for me and how the game looks and feels and reacts to what I do. And what really matters is whether you like it or not. So let loose in the comments section. Don't rate my flying. That's not what I'm showing you here. I am showing you the game, or hopefully showcasing the game, so you can get a good idea of what's good and what's not. I'm going to have to practice my thermals. But yeah, this is definitely I think it's a great little game. I really like it. Very positive for me. Very positive indeed. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye for now.